Welcome everybody to the last episode of 2025 for the Houndsmen podcast. We are going to continue our sit down with the Star City Whitetails. Hope everybody enjoyed the first part. If you missed it, please be sure to go back and check that out. A lot of good stuff in that first part in this episode. We're going to finish up part 2, but before we do, just want to take a really quick second, guys. I want to thank you all for another great year. It was a lot more than what I could ever expect. These last 2 years have really been amazing. We have every intention on coming back next year and making this work. Continue to try to improve on things, try to do better, try to give y'all a better listening experience, and hopefully bring on some more guests and guys that everybody wants to listen to. So I just want to really thank y'all all from the bottom of my heart for everything, guys. We're going to take a few months, maybe 2 months off is what I'm thinking. I'm going to try to pick back up sometime around March is what I'm thinking. This will give me some time to get some episodes kind of built up and record with some guests and get some things done and get ready for the next year. So got a lot planned, got a lot of guest line, ideas at least for guests, and hopefully we'll make these work, guys. So without further ado, we're going to continue into part 2 of this episode. Hope everybody, this episode will drop on Christmas Eve, so I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Best of luck to everybody out there in the deer woods. I know the World Cup is coming up too. Good luck to everybody attending the World Cup and all other field trials happening. And I think that's pretty much it, guys. I hope everybody enjoys, like I said. God bless everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, best of luck out there, and hope y'all enjoy. Thank you. Welcome everybody to the Houndsmen podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Houndsmen podcast. The Houndsmen podcast is proud to partner again with Outdoor Dog Supply for the 2025 year. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online garment sales with their world-class trade-in programs. The guys are not just a business, they're houndsmen and women too. They test their products out in the field, put them to the test, get the latest in garment equipment, and they stay locked and loaded and ready with field trial equipment, collars, leashes, and so much more. Visit their website today at outdoordogsupply.com, and we want to thank Outdoor Dog Supply for their support not only for the podcast but in field trials across the country. When you're looking for your next purchase in equipment, make sure you keep Outdoor Dog Supply in mind. Now, let's get this episode going, guys. Virginia has started coming around to be the quote-unquote hidden gem of deer hunting. Everybody talks about the big Iowa deer and the big Midwestern deer, and, Virginia's producing some massive bucks, and your page does a great job of representing that. And I'm sure that you're catching a lot of slack. We'll get into that, I'm sure, a little bit, but I love that your page has promoted Virginia to be, hey, look, we're not just some little state of producing little bucks. We're not producing these 160-pound bucks with 16-inch racks and calling them monsters. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what's your thoughts on why Virginia is producing such big bucks? Do you think it's environment? Do you think it's what do you think it is that's producing these massive bucks up here?
Well, I think people focus on my page.
Right.
Then secondly, they focus, as do I, on a big buck.
Right.
We all are, there isn't anyone on the page who doesn't want to see a big buck.
Of course.
But if we look through it, and if I laid it all out to every big buck, there's 50.
Yeah.
You know, does, there's 50. 4-pointers, there's 50.
Right.
Basket 6 racks and
Yep.
8s. And so, but I think that my page has become synonymous with big Virginia bucks.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
really, it's we're looking at it because we want to look at it that way. Really,
Right.
But and that really wasn't your question, but I kind of wanted to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
They're never typically going to grow like your Iowas and your Missouris, and because it's all about the soil, really, anyway. You know, and the genetics. But what has made Virginia become a little more spotlighted is, I think, the discipline in which people have had. I am a mature buck hunter.
Right.
I don't ever preach or teach that on the page because I never want someone to point me out that way, because that you shouldn't be.
Right.
Because we do have everyone on this page, kids starting out,
Yep.
older folks, or someone like myself that doesn't care about shooting a big buck. They want to get out there and experience and shoot what makes them happy, which at the end of the day, that's what everyone should do. That's the motto of the page always. Shoot what makes you happy. But this is what has gotten those big bucks on the page, is they didn't shoot the good bucks. They wait, because if you want to shoot a great one, don't shoot good ones.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody knows what that is. I think it's I call it a graduation system.
Right.
And not everybody graduates into it because they don't want to. I always have, and for a long time now. I just don't pull the trigger unless, and I know when I see it, whether I'm going to or not, but I need to see it. Not on trail cam. I mean, if I see a 200-inch deer on trail camera, of course, it's going to relay really good in the live. But there are deer that and if I see it though, and Jeff sees it, Jeff knows. Like that, whether I'm going to or not. And I am just fine with letting those, as I would consider, because it's still in everyone's eye of the beholder.
Right.
The good ones, I'm good with letting go. I am.
Right.
And I think that's what, there's no doubt that's what makes any place a favorable place to grow big deer, is letting the good ones get there.
Right.
And have an opportunity. So I think that Virginia, a lot of deer hunters are more selective. And there's no real, it's whatever floats your boat.
That's right.
I do get tired of hearing the excuses of, well, if I let him go, the neighbor's going to do it. Or I got to get, it's all about the freezer. Well, you got does. Shoot the does. If it's all about the freezer, then don't worry about stuff with horns.
That's right.
Ain't the horns, that's what, all that jazz. All that jazz.
I'm guilty of that one. I am guilty of that one.
well, and at the end of the day, honestly, shoot what makes you happy.
That's right.
Because that makes all of us happy. We're going to celebrate it on the page. I'm very interested in celebrating a 60-year-old dude's doe. I am totally, because he sent it. He wants it on there.
He's proud.
And I want him to be on there. And but you ask what about Virginia? Is it a destination place? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. People talk about it, and not for 1 second do I hold myself or my page accountable for people saying, "Well, you're letting the cat out of the bag." Hey, technology lets the cat out of the bag.
Right.
There ain't no cat in the bag. These days, there's no cat in the bag. This isn't the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And there wasn't technology. Technology is such, and all of you see it everywhere, just like you're watching this. When you watch this podcast, there's a million others, and there's there's everywhere to go to see big deer. I just think that people like the page. And when they shoot a really nice deer, they want to share it on my page. But there's just as many, not just as many, but there's a pretty large percent of Virginia hunters in some of these clubs down east. You can't get in the club and have I mean, I guess you could have a Facebook, but you cannot. One of the rules of the club is you cannot share the deer on Facebook.
Yep.
You cannot take it to the shows.
Right.
You are to mount it in your living room, and
that's where
other than that, shut your mouth.
Yep.
And you're part of the club. You know, there's plenty of that. So I would love to go into some of those living rooms and talk them into letting us share it. I've always thought that sharing it, there's no problem sharing it. Yeah. If you think it's a problem sharing it, then simply don't share it.
Yeah,
if you're so
absolutely.
freaked out, to think that people are going to be hunting at your doorstep, maybe so. But
and I'm sure you catch lots of slack on that. You know, I'd hate to see and hear some of the messages that you probably get on this whole, you know, the guys that do want a trophy hunt in Virginia, you know, that are, you know, locals, and they want to say, hey, you know, I don't need, you know, Billy Bob from, you know, Idaho trying to come over here and get a 3-day stamp and try to come get these deer, you know. I'm sure
I don't get any of that. I've never had anybody, you know,
That's good.
Tiny talk here and there, but no one.
That's awesome.
I think everybody, and they should be, at least has enough intelligence to know that I'm not doing nothing other than sharing and promoting our tradition. I'm promoting the tradition. The kids that are on there's so many kids on this page, and the reason they come to the page is because I've made it a good place for them to come. And the reason the women come to this page, I've made it a good place for them to come.
Right.
And they feel welcomed because they are. And I even have a contest. You know, there's 6 different divisions. So there's no hunter left behind, including youth and women. And they have their own division. So, you know, but it promotes, my page, you know, promotes hunting. And it promotes good hunting, and it promotes respect, and it promotes Virginia.
The Hounds podcast would like to take a minute and talk about our friends over at Cajun Lights. When pleasure running at night or judging those nighttime field trials, put your trust in Cajun Lights. With the economical Cajun Bayou for the every now and then light user, the Cajun Micro for the nighttime feeds, and the top-level Cajun Blinder for those hardcore crossings. The Cajun Lights are headlamp-style lights that free up your hands for voice recorders or your GPS. They offer flood-style lights in red, amber, and white walking lights. Then the top-of-the-line 4-level main beam light. If you're having a hard time catching crossings at night, give the Cajun Light a try on the red and amber setting to catch the game with the easy flick of a switch and go right back to your main beam light and see your hounds in action. Visit our website today at CajunLights.com and check out and make sure you fill out the survey and select Hounds Podcast to receive 5% off your next purchase from Cajun Lights. Now let's get back to the episode, guys. Right. And that's one of my favorite things about it is this page celebrates the basket rack buck that, you know, somebody killed and it was his first buck just as much and just as excitement into the post. And just as much respect as it was from this guy over here killing a 200-incher. You know, it's the same amount of respect across the board and celebrates all sorts of kills and all sorts of trophies from every angle. Yeah,
well, I've been there, done that. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that I can have a page like this and feel good about the stuff I put out is because I'm hunting. I've always hunted. I'm into it. I'm not just some dude that's got a page and he's not applicable. I'm applicable as it comes. I'm up the mountain, down the mountain, up the tree, down the tree, hunting when I can, when it's cold, when it's wet. I'm into it. I love it. I love everything about the hunt. Matter of fact, I've said many times, it's our world changes every day.
Every day.
With technology, something changes every day, and it's changed so very much since I got here, you know, on this earth. One thing that doesn't is the way the sun comes up, the way it goes down, the way those leaves smell, the way the breeze blows, the sound of the animals, the sound of the birds. All of that's the exact same as when I went at 8 years old with my grandfather.
That's right.
And I cherish that because there's nothing else really in our existence that stays the same. You know, this cell phone, it's a 17, right? I had a flip phone not a whole long time ago, and I told my wife, I'll never be texting. Well, that's all I do.
Right.
That's the way people communicate, and it is efficient, it's effective, and not and we don't call each other like we used to. But something that has never changed is you get in those woods before it gets daylight. You watch the stuff come up. Technology can't do nothing about that. It's the same. And it's the greatest thing. It's one of the greatest intangibles of our tradition, because there's so many people that don't get to see that, don't experience that. And I've experienced it, and you have, for a long time, but it never gets old.
Yep.
You know, it never gets old. So
that's right. And that's one of the things I love about some of the stories that get on there. You know, it's not necessarily the size of the trophy. It was the story behind the trophy that made it that much more special. You know, like I've got 3 deer that I've gotten European mounted that people would have probably just tossed off the side of the bridge or whatever, you know? But the first one, it was killed with my papa's gun that he handed down to me before he passed away. The next year after he passed, I shot a deer, little scrubby 6-point, but it was the first deer I got to pull the trigger with his rifle. The next one was one that I got me and my cousin. I shot it and made it a little bit further, and she finished it. I got that one European mounted. You know, it's those kind of stories behind some of these little scrubby bucks that your page celebrates those stories and puts those stories out there to be like, hey man, I'm excited about this and I want people to hear it. And the page does a great job behind that.
Well, thank you. And I know you'll ask me something about this. And since we're talking about the camaraderie side of it, because I do a lot of hunting here in this part of Virginia, you know, by myself, and I love that. I mean, I enjoy it. But some years ago, I had never been on a dog-led hunt at all, and but ran into a family here that the granddaughters took back-to-back state champion bear, big bear, won the state back-to-back. Their granddaughters did, and I wrote a story on them, and then it struck up a relationship, and they were like, well, you got to come up here up in Withville. Got to come up here and hunt with us during bear season. So up until this past year, because that 3-day season, I loved that.
Yeah.
God, I hated that they removed that in that part. Because for the last 7 years, I've been going up there and going on these dog-led bear hunts. And I needed to do that. You know, having this page, for one, I knew I would never take sides. It's legal. 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 So, so I mean, I'm not going to badmouth. I had never done it. And then if you want to sit and think about it and you've never done it, you could say, oh, well, yeah, how would it not be easier if we put the dogs out and here they come? But then going up there and bear hunting with these really salt-of-the-earth people who are real ethical, and they love them dogs and train them dogs, and those dogs are champions. The first time I went with them, I videoed everything, and it's on my YouTube channel. I just haven't been there in years, but I'm sure it's still there. I videoed, it was youth weekend, and 3 youth. We treat 3 bear.
Wow.
I had not seen 3 bear in the whole, at that time, 45 years of hunting. I had not seen 3 bear. We saw 3 bear, you know, up the tree, close where I'm looking at it and videoing it, and, you know, and you recognize the camaraderie. Nothing can replace that camaraderie. There's other family members joining in with their dogs, and it's all about the dog. And you hear the dog, and as we're getting closer to the dog, the whole hollow over here is just alive and well with the dogs barking, and it's just like, you know, I got it. I got it. I got it and appreciated and respected, and respected them, because we get a bear up the tree, and you could shoot a sow if you want to, but they will not. They will not. They want to make sure, you know, the bear that because I went a few years and other people shot bear, and they were like, well, if we get one, we want you to shoot it too. I said, that's fine. I'm here because they give out bear meat and whatnot. It's cool with me, and it's the camaraderie and staying up here and hanging out with y'all and eating, and no TV on at all. You know, just talking, hunting, going to bed talking hunting, wake up talking hunting, eating deer tenderloin biscuits in the morning. But that camaraderie was just so appetizing.
Yeah.
And that's what it. And my point was when the bear that I shot was 308.
Good size bear.
Yeah, but they wanted to make sure that it was a male, a bull. Yeah, right. They wanted to make sure, so he had to scoot around there on the limb enough to where we could see that it was, and then they said, okay. So, I thought a lot of that, and I know that I haven't been on a dog-led deer hunt. I've been invited, but I get to hunting here, and but I need to. It's on my bucket list, and I want to go, and I need to, and I want to see how it all goes down, and I know how it goes down. I just haven't been on one.
Right. Yeah.
I have never had, and I certainly don't have any problem with with dog hunting, because of the thing that I said a minute ago 10 times, legal.
Yes.
And it's a tradition.
Right.
If you grew up where you're at, Campbell County, all the way to the beach.
Yep.
It's legal to do it. That's what people do. They're into it. I totally get it. I love it. I'm all for it. All for it. That. The problem, there's a couple problems, but this is always problems.
Yeah.
Is the rear ends in any sport that don't do it like they ought to.
Yes,
and I would imagine over the years, over the decades, there's less land to hunt.
Yeah, it's dwindling down fast.
There's less land to hunt. It used to be, Miss Smith lets us do it, and Mr. Brown, we got thousands of acres here. We just run the dogs, and everybody's good, and everybody's fine.
Yep.
It ain't like that anymore.
Nope.
So what you got to do as a dog hunter is just apply some common sense and apply some respect. Don't dump them off right next to Mr. Smith's line over here. We know where Mr. Smith's boundary is, and then say, well, the dogs, the old excuse with the dogs didn't know where the boundaries were. No, they don't, but you do.
Exactly.
You do, and you dump them. Right. Don't do that.
Yep.
And if they end up over there, you go ask permission to come on it. And a lot of these people, and you ought to go and introduce yourself prior to the season.
Exactly.
Coming in and say, hey, we hunt in this area, and once in a while, I just wanted to let you. That goes so far, as opposed to walking up the driveway with a gun and, what are y'all doing? Looking for my dog. I mean, that's just not that cool.
Yep.
It might be that you are, but it could have been done different ways.
Yes.
And yes, the dog will get away. Those dogs got away, and we had to go find them and round them up.
Yeah.
But they knew all those landowners from the years of doing it, and they always made it a case to introduce themselves and do the right thing.
Yep.
Because if you want to end dog hunting, keep doing the wrong thing. It ain't. It's probably closer than it ever has been. And I say this only not that I have any insight.
Right.
But it's probably closer now to not being continued to be allowed than it ever has been.
I agree.
It's only because of those things I just touched on.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. You do the right thing. You drop them off in the right places. You go prior to the season when you're getting those dogs in shape in the summer, and say something to landowners.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. They may not want you on their land.
Right.
And you just want them to know that you have no intent of going on their land.
Right.
But if for some reason, I just wanted you to know that and if you wouldn't mind, maybe grab your phone number, and when we're going out or around this area, I'll just shoot you a text just so you know. Yep. Or that'd be the way for me to get in touch with you instead of walking up the driveway.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty simple.
Could not agree more. It's, we were really close last year on losing everything. It was a really close battle, and it was really close. And the fight is going to continue until the end of it. Honestly, whenever that time does come. Well,
from a hunter's perspective, I hope that it never comes to an end.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine the time that's put into it. Not only that, the years under these families' belts of the camaraderie. You take that away, you're taking away a lifestyle.
It is.
No one wants that.
Yep.
I don't want that. And if you do want that and you're a hunter, you're just not.
You're not doing it for the right reason.
You're being selfish. You're being very selfish because it's
right.
So.
Well, like you said, the land's closing in, but the world has changed too. The world has changed tremendously, and it's not as, you don't have these plots of land where, Billy Bob's been living there since 1973. It's, well, this guy moved in from here, and that's not always the case. That's just an example,
Yeah.
But it goes both ways of the dog hunters as a whole. We have to introduce ourselves. We can't expect landowners to come and introduce themselves to us.
Oh yeah.
That has to be a step taken that direction.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that can be improved on.
Well, those are some because there are a lot of people that are coming from other places and moving into some of this beautiful countryside. Right. And you can't blame them.
Right.
Can't blame them. They're down here for the right reason. They're not down here to be a problem. They're down here though to really enjoy that stuff. And when people have grown up on these properties, not that they don't love and appreciate it, we all take just a little bit for granted of some of the stuff we've had at our disposal for years. And these people are moving from places where big cities, and this is wonderful, but they're very interested in not having trespassers.
Yeah.
And they're very interested in probably not a pack of dogs running through there. And they might not, and a lot of them don't even hunt. It used to be if you lived out, you hunted.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just, you hunted. It just came with the territory, literally.
Yeah, that was part of your meals throughout the year.
Not much anymore, so that hurts dog hunting. But everyone loves dogs.
Right.
Everyone loves dogs, and those dogs are great. Those dogs are smart, they're great, but they are running the deer, and yes, they don't know where Mr. Smith's boundary line is here. They don't know that. But that's why it's very important to go and introduce yourself to some of these landowners, or try to. Even if you can look up their, you got their address, send them a letter. Introduce them. If you don't feel like walking up and knocking on the door, you can't get a hold of them, send them a letter and introduce yourself. Go the extra yard so that you can have those extra acres to hunt.
Yep, agreed. So, I agreed. Go ahead.
Do it with respect.
Agreed. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick second and pause this episode, talk about our partners over at Elite Nutrition. Our hounds guys, they're athletes. They give us their all each and every time they're cast. Elite Nutrition offers all natural products to give your dogs the natural benefits that they deserve. From the Canine Remove and All Natural Wormer to the ElectroBoost Paste for electrolyte replenishment, body fluid balance, and blood flow improvement, they also have products like Active Dog Powder for recovery and joint and muscle support, Essential Dog Powder for daily vitamins and minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes, the Canine Lactate Powder for nursing dogs to help with milk supply. There are tons of other products to check out at CajunLights.com, and then click on the Elite Nutrition section to explore. When you get to checkout, and only at CajunLights.com, use the code HTElite10 to receive 10% off your Elite Nutrition products. Again, that's HT Hounds Tails Elite 10. So HT 10 Elite 10 in the discount code section to receive 10% off of all your Elite Nutrition products only via CajunLights.com. I've been using their products, guys, for several months now. Cannot be happy with the results. That's pretty much all I run my dogs off of. So thank you, Elite Nutrition, for joining up with the Hounds podcast and taking a step forward into this field trial world. Now let's get back to the results. Agreed. And, that's one thing that, talking about the page and the hound hunters and stuff, that's one thing I'm so glad that you don't shy away from. There's pictures every week, every weekend of deer on the back of a dog box.
Yep. I love to get them. And when they send me something just on the dog box, I'm like, well, tell me about it a little bit,
Yeah.
A picture with the dogs in it, and I like to see that. I think the vast majority of us like to see that.
Right.
And understand that it's legal and it's tradition. You grew up that way.
That's right.
And I've sat in the mountains in the laurel thickets and cold and not see nothing, and I would want nothing more than to run a pack of beagles through there. But I'd want nothing more than to have the dogs come through here. It's the whole sound, and fortunately, I got in with good people.
Yeah.
And they get about, maybe 20 human beings there too.
Yeah. Right.
It's a big deal that way. The older folks bring their dogs, and it's a lot of sitting around and they're chewing tobacco and chewing the fat and talking.
Right. That's right.
That stuff is priceless.
Yep.
And boy, you better be in shape.
Yep.
You run through the mountains.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And it's always, they got the kids there too, and those kids run up and down. I try to keep up, and boy, they're like, "Come on!" They'll be looking at those Garmins, and they're like, "Johnny's got one with, looks like he might be bayed, or maybe trade. He's stationary over there, but he's about a mile away."
Right.
And we just take off, and it's like,
"Yep, wow. Gotta go. Time to go."
But thoroughly enjoy the hound hunting part of it. And it's like everything else. And it's even if you were still hunting. I sell land for a living with Whitetail Properties. And you wouldn't believe going on these properties where the owner hasn't been there in decades. They live in another state. They inherited it. They're ready to sell it. Absolutely, there's deer stands on the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't give permission.
Right.
People know that those people aren't frequenting it. It's
there.
just on the other, they hunt right up here. So that's the same thing with still hunting.
Yeah.
Have some respect. Reach out to these people. If you want to hunt their land, wouldn't you feel? I know I would. I wouldn't want to be up a tree stand and then here someone comes. I'm up here now. Stand. It's pretty. I'm not going to be able to get out of here.
Right.
It's obvious, and I can make up the excuse. Well, oh man, I didn't know where the line was. And bull, you do know where the line is. Do the right thing. That's what all hunters should do, whether you're still hunters or you're dog hunters. Just do the right thing, and we all know what that is, because it's doing to others as you'd have done unto you, basically.
That's right. I mean, we had a situation a couple of years ago where our dogs had got in this bottom, and I mean, the way the crow flies, they got into this one little section where it is impossible to get them out. You can tone them, whatever you want to do, you can correct them, but if they are, digging on one, it's hard to get them out of there. And most everybody's just understands it's cool. Everybody, we got to one property about a mile the way the crow flies from where we even have permission to be. And I mean, we casted another half a mile back the opposite direction. Well, the guy got aggravated. He was hunting. He messed up his hunt. And it happens, okay? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it that it doesn't happen. Well, he got mad. He called the dog owner, blah, blah, blah. And that's a whole story behind it. But it's not important. What the important part is I told the guys, I said, y'all calm down. He's angry. Let's go talk to the man. Well, I was the one. I went and talked to him. And I talked to him. I hung out at that guy's house for 2 hours that evening. And we hung out, ended up drinking a couple beers together. And the guy had an understanding of what happened. The guy had a new respect for dog hunters. I had a new respect for that man. And we shook hands and said, hey, if they're coming this way, shoot me a text, shoot me a call. I'll be ready, and I'll understand that it was a mistake. I'm like, all right, cool. And he was just as fine and has not had any problems with the guy since. Yeah. He's been just a pleasure to be around.
Well, sometimes it's a little harder to become a good neighbor. It's real easy to become an enemy.
That's right.
And the way you become an enemy is no communication.
Exactly.
You communicate with people, go out of your way just a little bit.
Right.
That's better than walking up the driveway on a Saturday with the dogs up there.
Right.
Up there around his house, and he's like, what the hell's going on? And wants to know what are y'all doing? And you got to explain all that. A lot easier to have that conversation prior to than asking for forgiveness all of a sudden.
Yep, it is 100%. I 100% agree. Yep, and that was like you said, that's something that should have been done beforehand. And we took responsibility for it, and that's what you have to do when those situations arise. And everybody's got time where they maybe we could have done it different, but you just have to accept the fact that it happened and deal with it the correct way. But like I said, the respect that your page gives to dog hunters is highly appreciated. You know, I hear about it from all houndsmen across the state. Everybody that I talk to, you know, if it comes up in conversation, it's I love that page. They don't shy away from posting deer dogs, you know, on there and bucks taken in front of the hounds and stuff. So
well, it's just discrimination is all that.
Right.
Just, I'm if anything, with our hunting community, it's to be inclusive.
Yep.
To get everybody. That's why I always post everything that comes in.
Yep.
And I think that one of your questions was maybe how I knew that it was different than just a Facebook page.
Yes.
Because for years, I would just add stuff and other people would contribute. And, you know, again, it's always been an honor just to do it.
Right.
But the growth, it's really over the last 5 years has grown exponentially. I mean, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crazy growth. And that's with me banning and deleting all the other stuff that, you know, thousands and thousands. So it's in a crazy place, crazy in a way I would have had no idea.
Yeah.
That it would grow like that. I remember when it was 500 people on the page, and my wife was like, "Jeff, you got 500 people on there." I was like, "I know, that's so cool, so cool," you know. And now it's 123,000.
Right.
But you know what? When I remember the hunt. I was hunting, and I'd come out of the woods. Mm-hmm. When I'm in the woods, you know, I'm looking at the page and adding stuff there. Kind of makes the time pass by.
That's right.
I probably missed some deer.
Yeah, right.
I probably have. They probably a couple have snuck by me.
But
I was coming out of the woods and I was getting ready to get in my truck, and I could have stopped there and put a post on, but I just want to get on home, get dinner, and then I'd have some time to post pictures. And a mother had sent me a picture of her son's harvest, you know, and I was like, cool. And I mean, I saw it and didn't reply to her. I was going to wait. It would take me a half hour to get home and that type of thing. So on my way home, I stop at a stoplight and I look, and she has messaged again and said, you know, I hate to bother you. I just wonder when you're going to put it on there, because little Johnny he cannot wait to see his picture on the page. Yeah. And right at that moment, I just was like, wow, this has become something that matters as much to them as me. Yep. You know, it's always really mattered to me, but I noticed at that moment how impactful it was for mom, the kid, the family, and it's been like that, you know, forever. So that's very pleasing to me. But that's when I was like, yeah, this is a little different. This is you know, but I've coddled it, I've evolved it, I've tried to do certain things, you know, the big buck contest and the 6 divisions and creation of antler stock, which
I was going to say I want to talk about that a little bit too. You know what?
Antler stock's my wife's. Got to give her credit. I'd have these big buck contests every year, right? And so many generous people donating prizes and different things, and then I'd have at that point 5 divisions and top 3 winners of each division. That's 15 people that you got to meet. And I didn't just want to go to the post office and mail stuff. I really wanted to meet these people, shake hands, introduce ourselves, get pictures, but make it a little bit more, you know, more than just, hey, that Jeff guy, I saw him, he mailed us, you know, gifts. And that would have been cool enough, but I really wanted to meet people. I was going out of my way, and they were going out of their way. And my wife was like, gosh, this is, you know, I was like, well, someone's coming over to the house at 1 and someone's coming at 3. And then I got to go to, and she was like, why don't you just have a banquet? And I had never thought about it. I was like, oh, wow. But then I was like, okay, well, where would I do it? What would be the overhead? And what would be this and that? Things, again, organically fell into place, knowing people offering up farms to have it on. So antler stock ultimately was a way in which my winners of that contest could all show up and be acknowledged. And then I was like, well, if they want to bring their loved ones, then maybe there's 60 people there. Guess who else would probably like to be here? Other people. So started. Then I was like, well, if people are going to come, let's make this into something different than any other show or event in Virginia. Let's have them bring not only the bucks from last year, but all these other folks that have killed bucks throughout. When you go to like the Virginia show, there's the historical division, but I mean, some people are going to bring the deer and some aren't. But if I really promoted them bringing these deer from yesteryear and other people to bring it and get it scored, Buckmaster score, which to me is the best score because it's internationally accepted, and there's a gross, and that's all there is to it, and that really is all there is to it. God gave the animal the gift to grow it.
Right.
Measure what God gave it, and don't take anything away from it.
Right.
And a net, what are you talking about, a net? That's where humans start getting involved too much. That's where we're overthinking it, that I've got to somehow find a way to really disqualify the animal in some way, that because he grew it this way or has two main beams. Measure them all. He grew it out of his head. He grew it in just a short period of time. It's amazing. So anyway, that Buckmaster score, they can come and get it scored. I'll have there'll be at least 6 scorers at Antler Stock this year.
Wow.
And this will be I want to make sure. I think it's the 4th one.
That's awesome.
And we're having it at a different venue. The venue where we've had it in Floyd's been wonderful.
Right.
Wonderful. But the parking, and we were limited to the parking and how many people can come, and it sold out so quickly last year, and people got upset. And I don't blame them, but there wasn't anything I could do. And at the same time, I wasn't ready to have an event that I might not be able to manage, because I want people, if they're going to come and spend $25 to come, that you want to have, they want them to have a good time.
That's right.
Want them to have a real good time. So anyway, Antler Stock's going to be at the Simmons auction area in Bedford this year. Okay. A lot more to come. It'll be on my page and stuff, but tickets will go on sale March 1, just like they did last year, and I'll start that at either 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. It'll be online, and there'll be 2,000 tickets available.
Oh, wow. That's very nice.
Prior, there was, these last few years, we've had 400, and we ended up with maybe 500 people, but there'll be at least 2,000 tickets for you to buy. Bedford is a little more centrally located for those coming from the east. It's in a great big place. You can park 2,000 cars at this place. So it'll be really, really cool.
That's awesome.
And I want to invite everyone who wants to come, and man, especially if some of you guys and gals have in your living rooms or your family's living room some of these ancient giants. Love to have them at the show.
That's awesome.
Come up, dust them off, and let's get this relived with the hunter if they're still alive, or at least the deer. And people love to see that type of thing. And,
absolutely.
And the biggest bucks of Virginia, I always say this, that you're going to have an opportunity to see the biggest bucks in Virginia at one time at one place, and you'd never have that same opportunity again in your life unless you come next year to Antler Stock. But
I love it.
So
what? What's the date? You got a date set for it?
Yes. Thanks for asking that.
Yes, sir.
July 18th.
Gotcha.
July 18th, 2026. It's a Saturday. So all you've got to do is, if you've killed a deer, or maybe you kill one or a big buck here in the next couple of weeks, just tell your taxidermist you're coming. They'll make sure they get it done for you. Because the good people that run the Virginia show and have for almost century. Great people. That VPSA is just stuffed with great people. And theirs is 2 weeks later. So I really would have rather had it the next weekend. I like to give that 2-week buffer out of respect for the Virginia show and for me. So that if you do go to the Virginia show, you don't have to just turn around the next weekend.
Somewhere else.
And with mine, it's one day. So, you know, if you want to come and get a place in Bedford or Airbnb down at Smith Mountain Lake, which is real close, or anywhere in Roanoke. Roanoke's a great area, and it's fun to stay overnight. But you
got
don't
Lynchburg
have to.
right on the door.
You don't have to. You know, you don't have to stay overnight.
That's right.
You know, you can go back home that evening. And Hammerville is the bluegrass band.
Very nice.
As good as it comes. Fantastic. We're going to have vendors. The last year we had just a few vendors. Going to have a number of vendors. And if you listen to this and you are in Virginia and you would like to be a vendor, contact me, because I'm going to be looking to add some vendors, and you won't have another vendor there in competition with what you're selling. I'll never do that.
That's
there
awesome.
Won't be two duck callers. There won't be two turkey callers, or I want all of the vendors to be unique, so it can provide a unique situation for them and a better one for the folks as well that are attending. So.
I like that. I respect that a lot. The Houndstalls podcast is proud to announce our newest partnership with Dog Tight. Y'all watching on video, check out the hat. Be sure to check out dogtight.com, and if when you are there, use our discount code Houndstalls15. That's Houndstalls, Tales, and the number 15 to get a 15% discount on any of your apparel that you get from dogtight.com. I'm sure y'all recognize the name, the Dog Tight song. Carson Robertson and Dog Tight clothing line has jumped on board with the podcast, and we are very, very excited to see where this takes us. So be sure, if you're looking for Dog Tight apparel, hats, hoodies, shirts, check them out, dogtight.com, and use our discount code Houndstalls15 at checkout to get 15%. All right, guys, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But that's how antler stock came around, because of my wife, Tanya. You know, she
I love that.
You know, and it wasn't even antler stock. It was just a banquet. I started calling it antler stock because then it became where people are bringing, going to be a lot of antlers there.
Right.
So it made sense. And I was almost not going to do it this year just because my business with Whitetail Properties has been fantastic, and I've been very busy. Yep. And you can only spread yourself so thin.
Yeah,
but I've had so many people mention it to me that so I'm gonna get it together. And
good for
July
y'all.
18th is when it's going to be.
Awesome.
So those of you that are listening, you hadn't scheduled your beach trip, so just don't schedule it then.
Yep, I'm going to mark the moment we get done recording. I'm marking it in my calendar because Bedford's just right down the road from me, so I have every intention on making sure I'm there this year. That's for sure.
And the other thing is this: I give a lot to you guys. I give a lot.
Yeah,
I do. I give a lot.
Yeah.
Not bragging, but I give a lot. I'm just honored to do it. So I'd be honored if you give me that same kind of like a handshake back and come to my event. You're not going to be disappointed.
That's
You're
right.
not going to be disappointed, and you don't have to stay 3 days. You just come and and bring your deer, get it scored, have a good time at a good place with a bunch of good people. A bunch of good people. So
So what are your classes for your big buck contest?
Men's, women's, youth, mobility impaired, and public division. That's 5 divisions. And this year, Jay Barrett, who is a local landscaper guy here, follows the page. He called and said, "Hey, I want to do a season-long archery, the whole season, because I have the month of October dedicated to and each one of them, men and women, that won that contest, which it could have been a boy or girl, but it was male, female. That whole month of October was that early archery season. I always have that. Big Virginia early archery season, buck. And each one of them won a free shoulder mount, $800 shoulder mount. But he said, let's have it the whole year, which gave me another folder I have to take care of and pictures. He did, and that's going to be a $250 gift certificate to the female, $250 gift certificate to the male, of the season-long archery. And that archery had to be either compound or traditional equipment, and you needed to take a picture of it, in the picture with you. I ruled out crossbow. I use crossbow. But I don't have to sight my crossbow in. Every year, it's throwing the thing at 412 foot a second. It ain't getting out of the way of it. And I got a scope on it with a red dot, and it shoots right where it did last year. So it's, is there skill involved? There's skill involved with getting up into a tree stand. But as far as shooting something, I would be. I would be doing the real archery hunters a disfavor by including the crossbow. And I'm a crossbow hunter. I'd feel silly if I won it and somebody's over here with trad and a wooden arrow. There are those who've shot some great deer. So, those 6 divisions.
Right.
And Sunday, January 4th, because it ends on the 3rd, is when I will start those 6 divisions. Nice. And you've watched it, I guess, through the years. It goes in at least a week and a half of boiling it right down. We whittle it down to the top 3 in each division. And then those top 3 of each division come to antler stock, and we score them to determine first, second, and third.
I love that.
For the longest time, it was just chosen on what you thought was the big buck, and oftentimes the cream rose to the top. And not that people are trying, but you can get a deer in a certain way and make it look like a monster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you see it live, it's like, oh, man.
Do that way back here picture.
Yeah. Or just, different angles. And it really, it throws it off a little bit. So, year before last, I said, hey, if we're having antler stock and we're going to be scoring deer,
do it.
Still have my contest like I've always done.
That's right.
But will the top 3 comes that element of surprise. You don't know.
I like that. I like that a lot. It leaves it,
And then you, the person attending, it's a surprise for you. You get to, hey, you saw them in there, and you're looking and thinking, I think this one. Then the tail of the tape will ultimately tell us. And,
you start getting the shakes, and I'll get all nervous.
Yeah.
We have to maybe convince you next year. Maybe we can work something out. Have to do a in front of the dogs division.
Yeah,
add some more work to your plate.
Well, the thing is, they're in there. They're not. They're you guys. Any of the dog folks. They're not in a. I didn't want to put them in a certain division, almost so that I'm not separating you out.
Right. I get
and
that
identifying it in that way. You're doing it legally, and
hunting's hunting.
Hunting's hunting, and because you still had to be at the right place at the right time.
That's right.
You still did. Whatever post you drew out of the hat.
Yep.
You were post A or post 2 or whatever stand you're on. If he ran by you, you still got heavily blessed.
Yep, you're not only competing against yourself, you're competing against the other 20 vultures out there that are trying to shoot the same deer that you're after at the same time.
Exactly.
That's right.
That big buck contest has been a cool thing.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, and it ties a bow at the end of the year, because I have been once in a while, somebody will say, all you do is promote a big deer. No, that's just because you're watching it. And like I said, people, if they see enough of it, all they're paying attention to sometimes are the big ones. But there's a lot of people that pay attention to every post and say something every post.
Yep.
And to me, again, the most valuable part of my page is that everyone gets an opportunity, like that little boy when I was on my way home that day, and that mom got back in touch. I mean, they were sitting there. They could not wait for that picture to appear. I just had no idea that it had that sort of clout. For years now, I know it. Because there's people who send it, and they're like, I have never had something to send you, and I have finally got one that I want to send you. And I said, you could have sent any of those others.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people, and it is a false impression. It's not a accurate impression that Star City Whitetails does nothing but promote big bucks.
Big bucks, right?
That's a false impression.
Yeah.
Because only a small percentage are big bucks.
Right.
80% of them are the 8-pointers and less.
Right.
Every one of them that's sent in, I put on the page. I really try to promote you taking a decent picture. And it isn't it's not so much for me. It is for me, and it's for you, and it's the people on the page to view it. We want to put it in the best. It doesn't have to be a glamour shot.
Yeah.
But if you just take a moment to take a good picture, it don't matter about Star City Whitetails. What matters is the years later when
you go back and look.
Granddaughter's sitting on your lap, and she's like, what was this? I want to know about this. And
right.
You get that good picture.
Get that
you
story.
You get to explain that hunt because you remember it. I look around at the deer and the fish that I've caught in this room. I know exactly where I was, what the temperature was. I've forgotten stuff that happened this morning, but I do not forget those hunts. And that picture and those mounts help bring that back. If I just
tell the story.
Yeah, and if I short sheet the bed and don't take a good picture, I mean, I think it doesn't do much for you. So that's why I try to remind people. I'm like, hey, just take a
good quality picture. Don't rush it.
Yeah, and it can be done at night. You put the headlights from the truck and there's ways to do it. There's great ways to do it, even when the deer is hung up back. You know, not blood everywhere, but get the head up. The head up. That's a cool picture. Tailgate pictures are cool with me. As long as it's not the trash bag's not in there behind you. And the Mountain Dew.
Pile full of beer cans.
Mountain Dew can and all that stuff. I mean, you didn't even think about it. And I know that you got caught up in the moment and you were excited. But I'm just trying to tell people, hey, it's cool to be excited and get caught up in the moment, but make sure you get caught up in taking a decent picture.
And taking it right. That's
so you'll enjoy it the rest of your life.
That's it. Agreed. The Hounds podcast is happy to announce our newest partnership with Low 10 Outfitters. If your kennel is looking for new apparel to rock to the next field trial or the upcoming hunting season, look no further than Low 10 Outfitters. They offer shirts, hats, hoodies, coats, and other accessories with custom logos for your kennel or your hound's name to go on. With top quality merchandise and long-lasting quality, you can't go wrong with Low 10 Outfitters. Now we are offering Houndstales podcast apparel on their website at low10outfitters.com. Be on the lookout, guys. It's there. Go purchase it. We're live, guys. Go in, go purchase it. low10outfitters.com. Click on the Houndstales section for your Houndstales apparel and the Houndstales Pin Series apparel. So thank you so much for Low 10 Outfitters for teaming up with the Houndstales podcast. Now let's get you back to the rest of your episode. Well, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I think we've hit a lot of our talking points, brother. Before we end this thing up, is there any last-minute shout-outs or recognition that you want to send out to there while you're on here, brother?
Sure. The Virginia hunting community. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've made the page what it is. I'm just a conductor. If the conductor doesn't have something to conduct, nothing going on. You guys have given me the material to work with, and fortunately I've been able to spin it in a good way that works for all of us. I really try to do that. But I really thank people like you too, brother, that take time to get me on, to get me on a podcast and want to know about the page. And but it's the support. Those who have supported me, I love you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I like that. Ton of respect for that.
That's the shout out.
There you go. Ton of respect for that, buddy. Ton of respect. And I think I can speak for a lot of people, man. We love what you do. You do a great job at it. And I think everybody has come to respect the page. And like you said, it's a lot of people use it as a excitement and something to pass the time. And hey, this is a reminder of how it used to be, or, this is something that I can look forward to checking on every morning while I'm out here doing this stuff. So keep up the hustle, brother. Yeah, I
hope that's the case, because I think my age helps me too. I've done all these things and I remember all these things. And I've been hunting when you hunted on Monday and when there wasn't no Sunday. And when there was, I've seen a lot of hunting. So I try to bring that. I try to make it a family-oriented thing, but I do appreciate the support.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, man, that's been fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, man. It really has been a good time. And like I said, from all the hound hunters, too, out here, we appreciate the respect given back towards that direction, too. It's a big bonus for us, so we do thank you for that.
Don't ever think you're isolated. You're part of this hunting community as anybody, and it's been a tradition as long as it's been for the still hunters up here.
Yes, sir.
The vast majority of us think just like that, and I certainly do. And Merry Christmas to you and your family and everyone out there. Merry Christmas. Sir. I don't know when this will be live.
Yep. It'll be before Christmas, so you timed it out perfect. Yep.
Cool. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody as well.
Perfect, man. Well, everybody that's listening, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank y'all so much, like always, guys, for listening. And, if you haven't liked and subscribed, be sure to like and subscribe the page. If you haven't checked out, for some reason, you haven't found Star City Whitetails, be sure to check them out on Facebook, Star City Whitetails on Facebook. Just search it and you'll find it, man. So, buddy, I appreciate you again, and everybody out there listening, thank y'all so much. And like always, guys, happy hunting.